She can't be beating me no fight. Come on now, let's be logical.
I know she can't beat you, but I'm tired of folks saying that she can beat you. I know they can't. Like, I be like, man, that girl is a trained fighter.
And sparring, because I think I'm gonna do some sparring. I've never in my life did sparring. I wanna do it. I wanna do some sparring.
Krishan's sister. And people ask me, do I think I can beat her in a fight? I said, do I think or do I know? She needs to be checking her fans and not checking me or trying to clock my teeth, talking about some she used to like me. Girl, you never came to a fight. You never said congrats on a motherfucking world championship. You never mentioned me in a good light. So no, you did not ever like me, and that doesn't matter to me. But to sit here and say you can whoop some ass and you out here popping pills and doing everything you're doing, you're not gonna whoop nobody ass. You need to go to rehab and get that shit out your system. You need help.
On Twitter and put up on Twitter and gonna say, I fight Tesehki or Ivory. One thing about me, you'll fight me, but I'm gonna train the same way you're gonna train. And I will beat the fuck out of her. Fuck you talking about? Yes, if I train and didn't smoke and drink, cause what she got so amped up off of is from drugs and alcohol. Like, no training. This is just natural. Bitch, you train every day. Bitch, you can't do a fight without training, ho. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, let me do your training you doing, and let me not be off that weed and poppers. Bitch, I'm the motherfucking champion around this bitch.
What started as a friendly flex turned into the spark that lit a fire across the internet. Claressa Shields, the undisputed GWO of women's boxing, posted a challenge that felt more like a dare than an invitation. $10,000 cash to any woman bold enough to step into the ring with her. Didn't matter if you were a trained fighter or just someone with hands and a grudge. At first, it seemed like typical champion behavior. A little cocky, a little playful. But then the tags started pouring in. One name kept coming up, Tesehki. Better known to some as Latifah Malone, she's not a fighter by trade, but she doesn't back down from smoke either. Fans knew it. Claressa probably knew it too. And Tesehki? She didn't waste a second playing it cool. She jumped in like she was born for this moment, and that's when the vibe shifted. This wasn't just internet talk anymore. The tone got heavier, fast, and just like that, things were already getting personal. Tesehki wasn't here to play sparring partner. She came with heat. On her Instagram Live, she didn't just laugh off Claressa's challenge, she dissected it. Claressa might train to fight, but according to Tesehki, she fights to survive. And that's a different kind of hunger. She claimed that if she had the same access to training, coaches, and resources, she'd do more than hold her own. She'd dominate.
Lady, I remember the first time you called me out. I remember. You called me and Ivory out. You was like, ain't no street bitch beating me up. That's what she said. She's like, she had 100K. She was like, I got 100K for either Tesehki or Ivory. And then the hashtag was like, ain't no street bitch beating me up. Coming down, I seen it. I was like, who the fuck is this lady?
What made it hit harder? It didn't feel like clout chasing. It felt like she meant every word. And she didn't stop there. Tesehki promised a real sparring session to prove her point. She wasn't backing down, and she wasn't begging for attention. She wanted a fight, real or metaphorical, and made it clear she'd turn any ring into her home turf. But if Claressa thought this was going to die down, she was in for a surprise. Claressa wasn't about to let anyone question her throne. If Tesehki thought this was just an Instagram drama, Claressa turned it into a high-stakes spectacle. She didn't just clap back, she escalated. Instead of $10K, she dropped a new offer, $300,000. That's right, 300 racks to Tesehki if she was really about that life and willing to step into a legitimate boxing match.
She can't be beating me no fight. Come on now, let's be logical.
I know she can't beat you, but I'm tired of folks saying that she can beat you. I know they can't. Like, I be like, man, that girl is a trained fighter.
I appreciate that, but you know what? I got a lot of respect for Tesehki and Krishan. If Tesehki ever wanted to do it, I would do it. But
I know you'll win though.
She beating those girls up on baddies. Them girls ain't
no
never
training.
Trained.
Yeah.
They got body work done.
I know going.
Yeah, it's different.
To some, it sounded like dominance. But to others, it looked like Claressa was shaking. The Olympic champ, undefeated and decorated, was now pouring cash into a beef with a reality star. Critics started whispering, was this champ energy or just panic masked as confidence? Claressa's rep had always been polished, professional, unbothered. But this move, it felt reactive, like she was swinging emotionally, not strategically. And the internet eats that energy alive. And Tesehki? She smelled blood and made her next move count.
Only way Claressa would be able to fight me is if I were to be a professional fucking fighter. If I go and train the same amount of time that she trained, and then I would get in the paint and beat the fuck out of whoever.
Tesehki didn't need gloves. She used Instagram as her weapon. Out of nowhere, she dropped a photo that froze timelines. It was her and Papoose. Yeah, that Papoose, the one romantically tied to Claressa and, more famously, to Remy Ma. Whether it was a calculated move or a causal link-up, the message was crystal clear. The caption? A petty masterpiece. Chow your ninja, know who the champ is, my lord? The internet lost it. Speculation exploded. Was this just for likes? Or was Tesehki really getting under Claressa's skin in ways that had nothing to do with boxing? Some called it a power move, others called it messy. But everyone agreed on one thing. Tesehki had just shifted the entire narrative. She didn't have to train. She didn't have to fight. She just had to post one photo and let chaos do the rest. And Claressa, she responded, but it didn't sound like a champ. It sounded like someone scrambling to prove a point.
Put on Twitter and put up on Twitter and gonna say, I fight Tesehki Ivory. One thing about me, you'll fight me, but I'm gonna train the same way you're gonna train, and I will beat. Fuck you talking about? Yes, if I train and didn't smoke and drink, cause what she got so amped up off of is from drugs and alcohol. Like, no training. This is just natural. Train every day. You can't do a fight without training, ho. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let me do your training you doing, and let me not be off that weed and poppers. I'm the champion around this bitch.
Claressa tried to play it cool, but the internet could smell the emotion. Right after Tesehki's post with Papoose went viral, Claressa clapped back with a carefully worded caption, "Good morning to my man, and my man only." It was meant to reclaim control, but it only raised more questions. If she was unbothered, why say anything at all? Then came the flood. Back-to-back posts, relationship affirmations, subtle jabs. To her fans, it looked like she was trying to reinforce her position. But to everyone else, it felt like she was unraveling. Twitter was ruthless. Comment threads dissected every move. People started calling her out, saying she looked distracted, emotionally tangled, and off-brand for someone who built a legacy on focus and discipline. Behind the champion's confidence, something seemed off. This wasn't just about fighting anymore. It was about image, ego, and maybe even heartbreak. Meanwhile, Tesehki didn't need to lift a finger. She was already winning in a different ring.
I'm a natural trained killer. Natural born trained killer. So if I really went and trained and sparring, because I think I'm gonna do some sparring. I've never in my life did sparring. I wanna do it. I wanna do some sparring. Because like all the sparring that you guys see me doing on baddies and the fights that people see me do when I was a child, that all was just natural. So I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna get me some professional training. Then we go see what's going on.
While Claressa was defending titles and timelines, Tesehki was mastering momentum. She didn't chase the fight. She controlled the conversation. Every post, every live, every subtle jab turned into viral fuel. And what made it sting even more? She wasn't even a professional fighter. She was an influencer, a reality star, someone people once thought didn't belong in the same sentence as Olympic gold. But now, she was running the headlines. Commentators and fans started picking sides. On one end, you had the purists backing Claressa, discipline, training, legacy. On the other hand, a rising crowd saw something else in Tesehki: rawness, relatability, and a natural instinct to stir the pot and make it trend. The clash wasn't just two women. It was two worlds: sport versus spectacle, respect versus relevance. One trained for decades, the other understood the algorithm. And as both names trended, the internet asked the one question nobody had dared say out loud: what if Tesehki really could fight?
I'm gonna make another poll. Again. I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna put, who do you think I should fight? Who do you think will give me a better fight out of these two women here? And I'm gonna put me in the middle. I'm gonna put me in the middle, and I'm gonna put Krishan's sister on one side, and I'm probably gonna put Ivory on the other side, or I'm gonna put Krishan's sister on one side and put Dolly on the other, and I'll let the fans.
The internet doesn't care about resumes. It cares about potential chaos. And with all eyes locked on this feud, talk of a real fight went from fantasy to possibility. Promoters were mentioned. Sparring sessions were teased. Rumors swirled that Claressa's team was already exploring venues. But the buzz wasn't just about logistics. It was about the what if. What if Tesehki actually trained? What if all that talk turned into a swing? Could someone with zero formal experience actually stand toe-to-toe with a world champion? To some, the idea was laughable, but to others, it wasn't about boxing. It was about energy. Tesehki had proven she could control the tempo outside the ring, and fans wanted to see if that translated when the gloves went on. This wasn't just about proving skill. It was about settling the score, live and under the lights. One post started it, but an actual fight could turn this internet storm into sports history. In the end, this wasn't just a feud. It was a full-blown cultural collision. Claressa Shields came in with medals, records, and a reputation as one of the greatest to ever do it. Tesehki brought street heat, digital dominance, and a savage instinct for turning attention into power. What started as a $10K challenge became a viral whirlwind that pulled in fans, influencers, and hip-hop heavyweights. Relationships were questioned, reputations were tested, and the line between sport and spectacle blurred right in front of us. Claressa tried to hold her ground in the ring and online, but every punch thrown on social media seemed to land harder than anything in a match. And Tesehki, she might have never thrown a jab, but she proved one thing. Sometimes, the biggest wins don't happen between ropes. They happen on timelines. So, now we're left with the real question. Was this ever about boxing? Or was it about control? And if these two ever do meet in the ring, will it be a fight or a finale? If you think this beef ends in the ring or in flames, drop your prediction in the comments. Would you watch that fight? And who walks out on top? Shields or Tesehki? Hit that like button if this drama had you glued, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns where internet chaos meets real-life consequences.